Please adhere to YouTube select guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during video. All actions are performed by professionals. Alrighty, so today I am going to be watercolor painting a very, very, very angry storm cloud. That is the plan, at least. First off, what I'm going to be doing is actually sketching the storm cloud with my Pentel Graph Gear 500 mechanical pencil. Then after I sketch the storm cloud, I am going to actually watercolor paint it with my Winsor & Newton mobile watercolor set, which is pretty good if I do say so myself. And then after I watercolor paint the cloud, I am then going to go over all of the lines once again with my Sharpie S-Gel pen just to make the drawing just look a little bit more distinct than it already does. And if I mess up any of the pencil lines that I draw with my Pentel Graph Gear, I'm going to be using my Pentel Click Eraser to, well, erase those lines, you know what I'm saying? And I will admit, this eraser is pretty clicky if I do say so myself, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right to drawing the storm cloud first off. Because, well, I can't watercolor paint unless I have something to, well, base the watercolor painting off of, I guess, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let's go ahead and draw the storm cloud, though. I'm thinking I want the storm cloud to take up probably about this much of the drawing, I'm thinking. So I'm just going to go ahead and start up here. And I'm just going to kind of go like that kind of thing. Just kind of a very fluffy, kind of cartoony storm cloud is what I'm thinking. And there we go. I think that is all good. Of course, I want the storm cloud to have a face, a mouth, or to have a face, a mouth, and eyes. Well, now I'm just describing what a face is. Of course, I want the storm cloud to have eyes, a nose, and a mouth to form a face, because that's what I like doing on my drawings. So I am now going to go ahead and put some eyes on this storm cloud, I do think. Just like that. And I do want to fix that one. I'm not super happy with these, but let's just go ahead and finish up this. There we go. I think I'm just going to stick it to that, and I'm going to go ahead and erase this one right here. I think I'm going to actually erase both eyes because I want them to be a little bit bigger. And I'm going to go back through and do them again. But I'm pretty happy with the nose and the mouth. There we go. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Let's just go ahead and erase both of the eyes. There we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and erase just a little bit more right there. I'm just going to get all the eraser dust off, and let's go ahead and try that again. So I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way like that, and then I'm just going to kind of have it go like that. And then I'm going to go, let's see, so that's the distance. I think I'm going to stick it right here. And that's going to go all the way out like that, and then that's going to go all the way out like that. This one is not deep enough, but I'm very happy with this one, and I actually think I want this one to be a little bit closer to the nose. So I'm going to have it go like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase this right here. Just like that. And I'm just going to try to make it a little bit deeper. There we go. And that is just about the same deepness, so I'm just going to stick it to that. And I am just going to go ahead, and there we go. Alrighty, should be all good now, should be all good now. I think that's most of the details I want to do for the face. I'm just going to go and add some mouth lines right there. I'm going to go and add a forehead line and a chin line, and I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 eyebrows as well. Just like that. Should be all good, you know what I'm saying? Should be all good. I'm thinking I want that to go up a little bit more. There we go. Should be all good now. And then I'm going to go and erase this middle line right here. Just like that. Wow, that was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. There we go. It's not exactly the same, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that is all I want to do for the moment. And just some other details, just add some eye lines. And I do want to have some lines coming down from the eye like that as well, but I think I'm going to do that in pen once I'm done watercolor painting this little drawing right here. But I think that's just all I want to do. I think that's just all I want to do. One thing that I do want to mention that I'm not super happy with at the moment, but that I don't really care to fix is that the face is definitely more towards the top of the cloud than in the middle of the cloud, which is bothering me just a little bit, but adding another chin line right there, I think hopefully should fix it just a little bit, but I don't really think that's a bad thing by any means. I might add some arms and a leg as well, but I'll figure that out. Actually, I think I'm just going to I might just do that. So let's just add like a leg right there, and then like a leg like right here, something like that kind of thing, and just have those come down just like that. And then just add an arm and another arm right there. Do I like that? What am I thinking? I think that's actually pretty good. I think that's actually pretty good. I think that's kind of fire. I think I'm going to leave that. Alrighty, so, already though, I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of water from my Great Value Purified Drinking Water bottle. And now I'm going to go and put just a little bit of water in my cup right here, just to have some water for my watercolor painting. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go and grab my pot right here. I'm not smoking any pot today though. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my brushes. I'm going to go put that right there, get the brushes out I'm going to be using. I think I'm just going to be using one brush in today's video. I think I'm just going to be using this brush right here. That should be good. I'm going to be trying to avoid getting any watercolor paint in the eyes, but the rest of this area, I don't care about kind of thing. And yeah, I think that should be all good. I think I'm also going to be trying to avoid getting watercolor paint in these areas right here. So I'm going to be having to be a little bit careful. There's a bunch of white spots around the... there's a bunch of areas I don't want to get watercolor paint on this drawing, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful with this big brush, but I think it should be a lot easier than trying to use a small brush, so I'm going to stick with my big brush, you know what I'm saying? But without further ado, let's go and get some water on this brush right here. I'm going to go ahead and move the watercolor set back just a little bit, just so I... This is my one issue with this watercolor set. Always do that. My one complaint with it. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go and grab some black. I'm going to go and just make sure that's all good. And I'm going to go ahead and just start putting some color on this cloud. And I do want it to be a pretty dark cloud. I don't want it to be a super light cloud by any means. So I'm going to go ahead and get some more water. Go and get some more black. Just like that. There we go. And just go ahead and just start spreading that all out. And if it goes out of the edges a little bit, it's okay. I don't care too much. It's a cloud after all. It's meant to be fluid. It's meant to not look perfect. So I'm not too worried if the watercolor paint goes out of the edges just a little bit. But there we go. Certainly no complaints on my behalf so far. And I did get a bunch of gray in this area right here, but it is what it is. Not too bad. Can't complain too much. And I'm not really worried about consistent shading on this watercolor painting either. I just kind of want it to look like a cloud. Some areas are darker than others, and some areas are lighter than others, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not really too worried about consistent shading on this drawing, which makes it easier on me, that is for sure. There we go. Can't complain, can't complain. And there we go. All right, perfect. So there we go. Got one eye, the area all done kind of thing. No complaints from me. Let's just go ahead and start working on this area up here now. And I am thinking once I do the base layer for this drawing as a whole, I want to go ahead and start darkening up all the edges as well. I kind of want the edges of this drawing to be a little bit darker, and then I want like different areas of the drawing to just be like darker throughout and everything like that kind of thing. Like I'm not terribly worried if it's inconsistent darkness. I'm not really worried about that per se, but I do definitely want there to be some areas that are darker than others, but I want overall the edges to be darker than not. And so that's pretty much my goal. And I might do the edges with one of my smaller brushes, but just to get all of this done with the base layer and everything like that, I definitely do think this brush was the right one to bring. And there we go. There is the base layer all done. I am overall definitely more happy with the base layer than not. There are some areas I missed, but that is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and just start darkening up everything now. I think one thing that would be interesting to try in the future with watercolor painting would be like kind of blocky shading. I think that would be really interesting, and that's something I've never really tried before. I wonder how that would, wonder how you do that. That would be really interesting to try in the future. Like blocky shading, huh? Wonder how that would work. But overall, yeah, it's coming along pretty well. It's coming along pretty well. Pretty happy. I think I'm going to start working more individually on some of the different areas now. Like this area right here, I'm going to try to start darkening it up and everything like that kind of thing. But overall, definitely more happy with how this is turning out than not. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. Whoopsies, messed that up a little bit, but that's okay. Alrighty, and so now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the top of the cloud once again. Alrighty, so there we go. I think that's most of the base layer that I want to do done. So I think now it is time for me to go ahead and start doing all of the fine details and whatnot. I'm just going to go ahead and dry this brush off real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just shove it in my little cup right there. And I'm going to go and grab a slightly smaller brush. I'm going to go ahead and first off, though, take a little bit of a sip of water and just see where dry is, because I kind of want to make this area a little bit darker. And overall, I want there to be patches of bright and dark, but I don't think I can really do that with the super big brush. But I've got to let a lot of the areas dry before doing anything. But there are some areas I can mess around with. So I'm just going to go and grab some black on this. And I'm just going to go ahead and start going along the edge of this and just start darkening everything up. Just like that kind of thing. Alrighty, so I'm thinking I want to go back over this one, but I'm going to go back over this one once it's a little bit more dry. But I'm thinking most of the areas I want to be darker are darker now. I'm just going to go ahead and do some darker layers over the rest of the watercolor painting, I suppose. Not really too much else to do. I think we're reaching the point of, I think I want to make this area like a little bit darker as well, kind of thing. But I think we're kind of reaching the point of nearing completion now. Although I say that, it's probably going to be another 20 minutes. Ooh, that was really dark. It was a bit darker than I wanted. That's okay, though. Alrighty, though. Yeah, no, this is looking pretty good. There's definitely still some areas I need to touch up, but I think we're nearing completion. I do need to stand up and just take a look at it like that, though, as well. And there are definitely some areas I want to darken up, like I think up here and stuff like that. But overall, it's definitely looking better than not. I do kind of want to add some shading to other parts of the cloud as well, besides just these areas up here. And I definitely need to add some more shading to that right there. I've just got to figure out how to add that shading. I think I might, instead of just having the darkness come from like one area, I think I might have it be all over. Kind of thing. I think I might have it be all over. That might be good. And then I'm thinking next up, I'm going to go ahead and do probably the rest of the edge right here. Alrighty, I'm gonna take a sip of water. And I'm just gonna go ahead and stand up and see how it's coming along. What am I thinking so far? What am I thinking? I am thinking it'll look a lot better once I put the pen on. I'm thinking I want to darken up some more of the edges. Overall, I think I might have added too many layers. I might have made it a little bit too dark, but it is supposed to be a storm cloud after all, so whatever. There are some areas I definitely do need to fix, though, like this right here. I need to fix that. And there are also some areas I definitely need to darken up. So I'll do that in just a moment. But then after that, I think I should be all good to go ahead and start. Going ahead and putting everything else on. Or like putting the pen on and stuff, I do suppose. Alrighty though, I think that should pretty much do it. I don't think there's really anything else I want to do. Just standing up real quick. I think that's all there is to it. I think this will definitely look a lot better, a whole of a lot better, once I actually put the pen on and everything like that. So that is what I need to do next. However though, first, before I do that, I definitely do need to wait for the paper to dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and just clean up a little bit real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and dry off this brush fully. This is soaking wet, but I'm going to go and dry off my other brush as well. So I'm going to go and dry this brush off too, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back in as well. There we go, there we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and move my brushes and my watercolor set to the side. And then now I'm going to go ahead and fold this again, and I'm just going to wipe right here because I think it was a little bit wet. Go and put that in my trash. Go and move this back over here. Go and put what was in it back in it. Had some calendula in it, you know what I'm saying? And let's go and do that. I'm going to go and move this cup over here, and I'm just going to let this dry now. I think I'm going to go ahead and start working on the parts in pen that I can work on for the moment, which is pretty much just these 4 parts right here, just the legs and the arms and the hands and the feet and whatnot. But I'm just going to go and do those in pen, and then I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the rest of the watercolor painting once I can. But, you know, I don't really think any of this is really dry enough. This might be dry enough. This might be dry enough right here, so maybe I can go and do this area. So let's just go ahead and start off with, I think, this loop right here. That should be dry enough. All right, bet. And y'all might be seeing my head a little bit, but that's okay. But hopefully this art turns out a lot better than it is right now with the pen on it. And so far, I definitely do think it is. I just think with the very muddled sort of watercolor paint look, it's just not looking exactly how I want right now. But hopefully with the pen, it'll end up looking a lot better. How dry is that? It's not super dry. So I think I'm just going to wait a minute for that to dry. So I'm just going to leave the pen right there for the moment. Is there anywhere right here I can go and start going over? So I'm going to go and do that area. And I'm just doing this first layer in pen for the moment. There will be another layer, of course. And in a little bit, once the rest of this dries and I get the first layer of pen all down. Let's see though, can I go ahead and do, no, that's still a little bit wet. That's still a little bit wet. That's still pretty wet. I can't do any of that right now. How dry is this? This is pretty dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that area. There we go. Hopefully y'all can still see that, and hopefully y'all could not see the back of my head a lot, but y'all probably could in all honesty. Let's see, how dry is this? It's pretty dry. Got some watercolor paint on me, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and do this area. Let's just go and connect up all the legs and whatnot. And there we go. And then this is mildly wet, but it's not too wet. I can definitely just put the pen down for the moment just to get that outline all done. And then this area up here right there is pretty dry, but this area right here is a little bit wet, so I'm just gonna have to be a little bit careful while I'm going over all of this. There we go. Whoopsies. And I think it goes like that, and then kind of like that. Giant loop, kind of like that. I don't know what happens there. And there we go. Okay, so that is the outline of the cloud all done, I believe. There we go. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. I've just got to go back over and thicken up all the lines. And so now, how dry is all of this? This is still decently wet. Okay. So I might just start going over some of the dry areas and just start going ahead and doing the second layer of the lines, just to thicken everything up just a little bit. So I might just go ahead and do that while I'm waiting for the middle portion of the cloud to dry just a little bit. Can you still see that? I think so. Alrighty, there we go. I think that's the second layer all done. I'm just going to go back over and start thickening up some of these lines once again, just some of the areas where it's not quite thick enough for my personal taste. And there we go. I'm going to go and do another layer on the hands and the arms. And on the legs as well. And there we go. Alrighty, how is this feeling? This is feeling pretty dry. I think I can go ahead and do the mouth now. Before I do the mouth though, I am gonna go ahead and do the chin and the other chin. And I'm gonna go ahead and now do the mouth. And there we go. Certainly cannot complain. Just filling in the eyebrows now. And there we go. Alrighty, now I'm going to go ahead and just add some eye lines. And I'm just going to go and thicken up all of these. And there we go. Alrighty. Well, I'm just going to step back to see if there's anything else I need to take a look at, see if there's anything else I need to do. I am overall definitely more happy with this than not. I don't think it's my best watercolor painting ever. I don't think it's my best art ever, that is for sure. But I am pretty happy with it nonetheless, and I feel accomplished. I feel like I've accomplished my goal of, well, watercolor painting a super angry storm cloud. He doesn't look super angry per se. He kind of just looks like he's just mildly irritated. But he definitely does look more angry than not, I do suppose. So cannot complain, you know what I'm saying? Cannot complain. But now I think I'm just going to go over a bunch of the lines one more time, and then I think after that I'll be done. Let me know in the comments down below, though, if you guys have any constructive criticism for this drawing or anything like that. If you guys have any tips for watercolor painting in the future or anything like that kind of thing. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know watercolor painting better than I do, so just let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any tips for me in the future. And of course, please make sure to, like and subscribe for more content. Of course, check out my Instagram. I have both my art Instagram and my personal Instagram down in the description down below, along with my TikTok, my merch, my book, 12 bucks on Amazon. Go pick it up, you know what I'm saying? And I forgot this line right here. And I've also got like my other social media, like my Twitter and all of that sort of stuff down in the description down below as well. Go check all that out if you guys would like to follow me on those platforms. My website is down there, which you guys can find all of those links through. Highly recommend you guys go check out my website. I made it in Microsoft Word, so it looks absolutely fantastic, as I'm sure you might expect. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the rest of this drawing real quick. Just going to go ahead and go over a bunch of lines one more time. There we go. I think that's it for the outline. I don't think there's really too many lines I need to go over again. I do want to go over like this, just to kind of thicken that up just a little bit. And same with these. Y'all probably been seeing a lot of the back of my head today, but that's okay. I don't mind. And I think one thing I do want to do is I want to add some nose lines. And there we go. Alrighty, this is all done now. I feel accomplished. I feel like I've accomplished what I set out to do. And there's one line right here. I want to kind of thicken up just a little bit. I feel like I have accomplished what I set out to do. Have I watercolor painted a super angry storm cloud in today's video? Well, I certainly do hope so. That is for sure. I do certainly hope so. That is for sure. As I said, make sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed watching this video. And of course, please make sure to check out, getting everything together real quick just so I can get a screenshot for the thumbnail and everything like that kind of thing. But of course, as I said, make sure to like and subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Make sure to check out my book and all that sort of stuff and everything like that. But yeah, I think that's just about all I had to say. I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and well, I think that's it. I'm a little bit tired, man. Oh man, that wiped me out. That was a good painting though. It's not my best ever, I will admit, but certainly also not my worst, and I'm glad I did it. Until the next one, y'all, though, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?